Hello, all you beautiful people out there, and welcome to my channel. Happy Halloween, everyone, because it is October 31st, 2021. So, um, and of course, this is Atheist Church, being Sunday. Uh, gotta go to church. Doesn't matter which church we go to. It can be Atheist Church. And this is Atheist Church. So, yeah. Alrighty. So I've got a little treat for you today. Um, Hopefully some Christians will come in. Um, I'm gonna go through Jesus failed prophecy. Well, gee, Christians, I don't think you know. Hey, limited light, I don't think you know that Jesus had a failed prophecy. Of course, you wouldn't, because every goddamn prophecy in the Bible has never come true, but that's topic for another day. So, where is this prophecy or failed prophecy? Well, it is in Mark. And let me go ahead and share my screen with you. This is Bible Gateway, New International Version. Bible Gateway does have a lot of versions on their site. You don't have to go with the NIV. I just prefer it. Even though I do understand that it's not the best for translations and all that. So I'm aware of that. Okay, Mark 13, verse 1. As Jesus was leaving the temple, one of his disciples said to him, "Look, teacher, what massive stones! What magnificent buildings!" I'm sorry, is this disciple a child? I'm sorry. I just have to remark on this because, I mean, this dude is supposed to be a Jew, right? He's obviously been to the temple before if he's a goddamn Jew. So, I mean, seriously, he's impressed by these stones that he's seen before. What a fucking moron. Verse 2. "Do you see all these great buildings?" replied Jesus. "Not one stone here will be left on another. Every one will be thrown down." And I just got to say, before I go on, I just got to say, the Messiah, the last Messiah, because the Jews have had several Messiahs. Let's get that straight. The Jews have had several Messiahs. The last Messiah is supposed to rebuild the temple. How do you rebuild a building that is already standing? Because in Jesus' time, the temple was still standing. All right, moving on. Hey, Mr. Shadow Kitty. As Jesus was sitting on the Mount of Olives opposite the temple, Peter, James, John, and Andrew asked him privately, Tell us, when will these things happen? And what will be the sign that they are all about to be fulfilled? Jesus said to them, "Watch out that no one deceives you. Many will come in my name, claiming I am he, and will deceive many. When you hear of wars and rumors of wars, do not be alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be earthquakes in various places and famines. These are the beginning of birth pains." Um, I'm sorry. Jesus must be like totally stupid. Those things have always been happening, and they always will happen. It's nothing new. Nothing new, people. Moving on. Verse 9. You must be on your guard. You will be handed over to the local councils and flogged in the synagogues. On account of me, you will stand before governors and kings as witnesses to them. I don't think any of the disciples were ever in front of kings. I could be wrong. Verse 10. And the gospel must first be preached to all nations. Whenever you are arrested and brought to trial, do not worry beforehand about what to say. Just say whatever is given you at the time, for it is not you speaking, but the Holy Spirit. That is some terrible legal advice, Jesus. Verse 12. Brother will betray brother to death, and a father his child. Children will rebel against their parents and have them put to death. Everyone will hate you because of me, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. Well, gee, Jesus. Yeah, that really makes us feel all warm and fuzzy inside. And, we don't want that, especially since you're full of shit. So we're just going to leave you now. Verse 14. When you see the abomination that causes desolation standing where it does not belong, let the reader understand. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Okay, so there is a footnote here about the abomination that causes desolation. And I don't want to be accused of not being thorough in my takedown of this absolutely horrid book. So let us go to the footnotes. And the first verse in the footnotes is Daniel 9:27. And I like context. These idiot Christians don't like context because they'll only take one verse and say, that's the verse we want, so that's the only one we're going to pay attention to. So I'm actually going to start at Daniel 9, verse 25. Know and understand this. From the time the word goes out to restore and rebuild Jerusalem until the anointed one, the ruler, comes, there will be 7 sevens and 62 sevens. It will be rebuilt with streets and a trench, but in times of trouble. Okay, so this is what's wrong with quote unquote prophecy, any kind of prophecy. It's utter gibberish. What the fuck is 7 sevens and 62 sevens? Utter garbage. Okay, moving on. Verse 26. After the 62 sevens, the anointed one will be put to death and will have nothing. Okay. According to the Jews, the anointed one here is referring to a high priest who was assassinated by the name of Onias. And Onias was assassinated before Daniel was written. That's important. Before Daniel was written. Okay. Moving on. Still in verse 26. The people of the ruler will come, will destroy the city and the sanctuary. That would be the temple. The end will come like a flood. War will continue until the end, and desolations have been decreed. Okay, so this is the one verse that they want you to focus on. He will confirm a covenant with many for 1-7, whatever the fuck that means. In the middle of the 7, he will put an end to sacrifice and offering. And at the temple, he will set up an abomination that causes desolation until the end that is decreed is poured out on him. Okay, so according to Daniel 9, the abomination of desolation is going to be something like an idol. Which, I mean, makes sense. Hey, Mark. Hey, Mr. Shadow Kitty. Yeah, I know. Ain't that a hoot? Considering the, numerologies of the devil. No, you fucking twits. Numerology is a Jewish thing. Go figure. Alrighty. So, going back to, going back to Mark 15, there's another footnote here that leads us to Daniel 11:31. Again, I'm going to read the surrounding verses because these idiots just want you to hone in on one verse. So I'm going to start with just a minute. Okay, I'm going to start with verse 29. At the appointed time, he will invade the south again, but this time the outcome will be different than what it was before. Ships of the western coastlands will oppose him, and he will lose heart. Then he will turn back and vent his fury against the Holy Covenant. He will return and show favor to those who forsake the Holy Covenant. All right, this is the verse they want you to pay attention to. His armed forces will rise up to desecrate the temple fortress and will abolish the daily sacrifice. Then they will set up the abomination that causes desolation. With flattery, he will corrupt those who have violated the covenant, but the people who know their God will firmly resist him. Those who are wise will instruct many, though for a time they will fall, by the sword or be burned or captured or plundered. Okay, so again, this isn't really saying much. It's just saying there's going to be, you know, an abomination that causes desolation put in the temple. Okay. May I point out, this is supposed to happen before Jesus returns? How can you put up anything in something that does not exist? Because the temple doesn't exist right now. The Dome of the Rock is on top of Temple Mount, which may not even be Temple Mount. We'll get to that in a later episode. But anyway, moving on. And the third supporting verse for this is Daniel 12:11. So again, let's read the context. And this is talking about a vision that Daniel had, supposedly had, because this book's totally made up. Verse 7, the man clothed in linen, who was above the waters of the river, lifted his right hand and his left hand toward heaven, and I heard him swear by him who lives forever, saying, it will be for a time, times, and half a time, when the power of the holy people has been finally broken, all these things will be completed. Nice way to say a whole lot of nothing. Verse 8. I heard, but I did not understand. So I asked, my Lord, what will the outcome of all this be? He replied, go your way, Daniel, because the words are rolled up and sealed until the time of the end. So basically, the guy's saying, you don't get to know that, Daniel. Verse 10. Many will be purified, made spotless, and refined, but the wicked will continue to be wicked. None of the wicked will understand, but those who are wise will understand. Oh, you mean those who are dumb enough to be roped into this false idiocy of yours, huh? Alrighty. All right. This is the one verse they want you to pay attention to. Verse 11. From the time that the daily sacrifice is abolished and the abomination that causes desolation is set up, there will be 1,290 days. Blessed is the one who waits for and reaches the end of the 1,335 days. And I have no fucking clue where he gets 1,335 days. It's probably in the book somewhere. You'll have to go to my Daniel series for that. And just for good measure, we'll throw in verse 13 because it rounds out the chapter. As for you, go your way till the end. You will rest, and then at the end of the days, you will rise to receive your allotted inheritance. Well, that's great. Didn't exactly clear up what the abomination of desolation is. Hey, Marianne. Sure. Go ahead. Have fun. Are you dressed up? In Second Temple Judaism, it was Mark. which is when Daniel was written, wasn't written in First Temple Judaism. It was written in Second Temple Judaism. I can't remember now the the exact dates of Daniel, but Second Temple Judaism definitely is apocalyptic. Okay, so I just wanted to round it out for you because you know, don't want to be accused of taking things out of context like that idiot yesterday accused me of doing when I was literally reading the context. Oh my God. These people are so dumb because of their religion. They're not, they're not, they're not stupid. They're just stupid when it comes to their religion. I want to make that clear. Okay. Going back to Mark 13, uh, verse 14. I'll read it again. When you see the abomination that causes desolation standing where it does not belong, let the reader understand. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let no one on the housetop go down or enter the house to take anything out. Let no one in the field go back to get their cloak. How dreadful it will be in those days for pregnant women and nursing mothers. Pray that this will not take place in winter, because those will be days of distress unequaled from the beginning when God created the world until now and never be equaled again. So, right there, let's just hone in on verse 18, please. Because right there, Jesus is saying, I have no fucking idea. Verse 18, pray that this will not take place in a winter, because those will be days of distress unequaled from the beginning, when God created the world until now and never to be equaled again. So Jesus is saying right there, I have no fucking clue. What about this is Christians? What is so hard to understand about this? Moving on, verse 20. If the Lord had not cut short those days, no one would survive. But for the sake of the elect, whom he has chosen, he has shortened them. At that time, if anyone says to you, look, here is the Messiah, or look, there he is, do not believe it. Well, great for telling us you're a false Messiah, Jesus. Bye bye. Verse 22. For false messiahs and false prophets will appear and perform signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect. So be on your guard. I have told you everything ahead of time. No, you haven't. You have just given us um, some bullshit that can be uh, given to any time in the world. And come on, it doesn't take a genius to figure this shit out. Oh, Tangelo, you poor deluded fellow. Of course it has. But in those days following that distress, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky, and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. Stars do not fall from the sky, you idiot. Verse 26. At that time, people will see the Son of Man coming in clouds with great power and glory, and he will send his angels and gather his elect from the four winds, from the ends of the earth to the ends of the heavens. Now learn this lesson from the fig tree. Oh, you mean the fig tree that you cursed because you didn't even fucking know it wasn't in season? As soon as its twigs get tender and its leaves come out, you know that summer is near. Even so, when you see these things happening, you know that it is near, right at the door. Truly, I tell you, this generation, pay attention. Okay, Angelo, pay attention. Verse 30. Truly I tell you, this generation will certainly not pass away until all these things have happened. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. Is there a fucking idiot left of that generation? Otangelo. Otangelo, is there anybody left from that generation that Jesus was speaking to? Because if nobody is alive from that generation, Jesus' prophecy failed, and you are in a false religion. Alrighty. I just got to read that again because it blows Christianity out of the water. Verse 30. Truly I tell you, this generation will certainly not pass away until all these things have happened. Mm-hmm. False prophet. What else do you want to know? What else do you need to know? False prophet. What was that thing about what, quote unquote, God said in the Old Testament about identifying false prophets? If anybody prophesies anything in my name and it doesn't happen, that guy's a false prophet. Otangelo, Otangelo, sweetie, it's right there. You don't read your fucking book. No Christian has ever read their fucking book because it's all right there. That too, Mr. Shadow Kitty. And Tyre. Tyre was supposed to cease to exist too. Tyre's still around, so is Damascus. Alrighty. Moving on. Verse 32. But about that day or hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. Be on guard, be alert. You do not know when that time will come. It's like a man going away. He leaves his house and puts his servants in charge, each with their assigned task, and tells the one at the door to keep watch. Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know when the owner of the house will come back, whether in the evening or at midnight, or when the rooster crows or at dawn. If he comes suddenly, do not let him find you sleeping. What I say to you, I say to everyone, watch. Oh, okay. So not only did your prophecy about coming back in that generation fail, hey, deconverted, not only did your prophecy come back in that generation fail, Jesus, you want your followers to be tired as fuck and hallucinating all over the place because they haven't slept. By the way, not sleeping leads to death. So, yeah, this is why we don't believe your fucking book. It's nonsense. That's another place where he says it, deconverted. Thanks for bringing it up. Truly, I say to you, there are some standing here who will not taste death until they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. Matthew 16:27 to 28. Not a one off, people. Jesus, if he existed, okay, and in this format, the Bible Jesus who did all this shitty miracles did not exist, okay? But he's just wrong about every fucking thing. Every fucking thing. Happy Halloween, deconverted. So, Otangelo, you heard your Messiah. You can't go to sleep ever. Actually, no, don't do that. Please don't do that. Because you'll die if you don't sleep. Okay? Don't stay up. Don't stay up. You need your sleep. But yeah, I mean, how much more do you people need to know that you are following a false religion? What else do you need? And, Christians, I know you put the blinders on, but it's right there in black and white. If you use a red lettered Bible, it's there in red and white. It's right there. It's right there. Just open your eyes for fuck's sake. Don't be a sheeple anymore. Grow a pair of balls. Or if you're a woman, a silver vagina, or a steel vagina, even better. Grow a pair of balls or a steel vagina and say, you know what? This is fucking idiotic. You can believe in God. Hell, I don't care if you believe in God. Just don't believe in this fucking nonsense. Because this is fucking nonsense. It's right there, people. It's right there. What else do you want? I took you to the place in the Bible where Jesus made a false prophecy. Your fucking book, hey, the awake one, your fucking book, I took you straight to it. And you still want to be blind to it. This isn't about being ignorant anymore. If you are listening to the stream, this isn't about you being ignorant anymore about, I didn't know that was in the Bible. You are now officially stupid. Ignorance can be fixed. Stupidity can't. Ignorance can be fixed. Stupidity can't. And if you insist on believing this shit when I took you to the fucking Bible and showed you exactly where this false prophecy is, you are no longer ignorant. You are stupid. And like I said, I don't care if you believe in God. That's not really the issue here. I mean, I'm an atheist, but you know, I don't care if you believe in God. Go ahead and believe in God. Just don't believe in this fucking nonsense. You know, there are plenty of people out there who believe in God that don't believe this shit. You know, but anyway, sorry about that. Went off on a tangent again. Oh wow, I really tend to do that when I dig down into the uh into the ceaseless shitty cesspool called the Bible, don't I? It's amazing. It it's amazing, you know. I don't know what else you want me to do, Christians. I'm trying to save you from yourselves. And if you don't want that, fine. I don't give a shit. Really, I don't. I don't give a shit. I'm just here to show you how fucked up your religion is. And if you don't want that knowledge, fine, go somewhere else. Pay somebody to lie to you, because that's exactly what you do when you give money to your church. You pay somebody to lie to you. How pathetic do you have to be to pay somebody to lie to you? Well, I don't like the real world. I'd rather believe in a fairy tale. Fine. Fine. Live in a fairy tale. But don't expect everybody else to live in your fairy tale with you. Alrighty. Well, that's about all I have for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, uh, join the channel if you can. Um, you can be a member for as low as 99 cents a month. That helps me out tremendously. And yeah, happy Halloween, everyone. And, you know, the trick or treaters should be out in droves because CDC has lifted the ban on trick or treating. So I will let you go and you have a wonderful rest of your day. Alrighty, bye.